birth. The caste system we have is based on birth. Guna and karma, that's right. Guna karma vibhagasa. Guna means qualities, karma means the activity, occupational duties. This is based on that. So the ultimate purpose is that one gradually gets elevated, gets purified, and they can go back to Godhead. They can go back to Godhead. Yeah. There's a lot of space here. Yeah, thank you. Please come this side. Same phenomena. Wherever I go, whichever part of the world I go, the audience goes as far away as possible from the speaker. I don't know why. Anywhere, Hong Kong, you go to Japan, you go to New Zealand, same thing. I was in, I don't know, it just even goes further and further away, and then start squeezing in there. Front is all empty, So much real estate is being wasted here. You want back support, you can come here also. Rasanand Prabhu, are you okay there or you want back support? You're okay. See, young men. My brother was saying the older people are getting younger and younger people are getting older. Yeah. Jitendra is alright. Okay, so Varnashrama Dharma is based on, the classification is guna and karma, qualities and the activities. And it is based on their qualification. One has to be qualified. Then one gets the training. When one gets the training, one has qualification, then one is called Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So the four Varnas, what are the four Varnas? Varnas are occupations. What are the four occupations? Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. Now these are based on the qualities. So Brahmanas predominantly what mode are they in? Mode of goodness, yeah. And Kshatriyas, little bit of goodness, more of passion and little bit of ignorance also creeps in. And Vaishyas, predominantly passion and some ignorance. Sorry, Madhi? And Shudras, predominant mode of ignorance. So because they are predominant mode of ignorance, they have to be led. They can't make independent decisions. So that's the Prabhupada objective to modern day democracy. Because democracy is government of the people, by the people, for the people, all that. But people are in mode of ignorance. So what kind of leaders are they going to elect? They're going to elect another one in the mode of ignorance. And one in the mode of ignorance cannot make right decisions. We read in the 14th chapter, right? Asatya satya kori mani. They take the right as wrong, wrong as right. They make exactly opposite decisions. They don't know what is right, what is wrong. Just like in Bihar, the BJP lost very badly. On what ground? Because they said cow killing they want to stop, which is such a good thing. But because they don't have the Brahminical training to present this philosophy correctly, therefore it's been seen as a religious fanaticism. And many people are put off by that. Now the idea is good that we should not kill the cow, that's very important. But if it is presented in a way that is more acceptable to people, that beef is not good for your health, beef economy is not good, killing the cow is actually more harmful for the environment. If you go by those factors, then you're more likely to get support from people. See, the idea is good, but they don't know how to present it. But if they were to come to ISKCON and ask for suggestion from our leaders, they would give very good suggestions how to present it in a wholesome way, so people can see not just religious side of it, which is of course important, but in all other aspects, economic aspects, health aspects, environmental aspects. You present these factors more, and then it becomes acceptable to everyone. Any reasonable man can say, yes, I can accept that. But if it is seen as a Hindu is trying to push their fanatic philosophy across, even those who are neutral, they will get against it, they'll get put off by that. And so therefore, the whole mandate is not successful. It's become a big stumbling block now. They're doing so much good work on one hand, but on the other hand, they've got this problem. So because this knowledge is missing, they should, ideally Kshatriyas should take guidance from the Brahmanas. That's why it's mentioned here. The Brahmanas are the head of the four Varnas. The Brahmana is considered a spiritual master of the other three sections of society. So Brahmanas have to be properly qualified. If they are not properly qualified, then they can't give proper guidance. Then Kshatriyas will not get proper guidance. They make wrong decisions. And therefore there becomes a whole country gets compromised. The whole society gets compromised. So Brahmana is the one that has to be properly trained. So Prabhupada said ISKCON is meant for training Brahmanas. ISKCON is meant for training Brahmanas. Many times people come and ask ISKCON, oh, why can't you do this, why can't you do that, you help us for this project, this cause, that cause. And they come and ask, no, we can't. Our focus is to train Brahmanas. That somebody else can do. Kshatriya training somebody else can do. Vaishya training someone else can do. Shudra training someone else can do. If we take on all that, then we are missing the focus. Our focus is Brahminical training. If Brahmanas are properly trained and they are guiding the Kshatriyas and the Vaishyas and the Shudras as spiritual masters, then the whole society is on the right track. So Prabhupada is very clear about it. It doesn't mean we don't care for others, but it just means that we have to focus on our mission. What are we here for? We're here for Brahminical training, to get trained as Brahmanas and to train others to become Brahmanas. Now, not everyone will take up Brahminical culture. That is true. That's a fact. That's why in the 7th purpose of ISKCON, Prabhupada mentions to propagate Krishna consciousness to the society at large. The wider community, if they become favorable to Krishna consciousness, they'll make spiritual advancement. They may not become devotees, but if they're favorable or the supporting devotees, helping devotees in some way, they also will gradually, by following Varnashram Dharma, they'll be able to make advancement. In ISKCON, there's been a bit of a discussion whether we should follow Varnashram or not. Did Prabhupada want Varnashram? Is that going to be the real goal of ISKCON? Is that what we meant to be doing? But now you can see from the discussions and various statements of Prabhupada that he wanted Varnashram Dharma as an umbrella for the society at large. But a few people among them will become very serious in Krishna consciousness. They will become the Brahminical order. They become the Brahmanas. They will study Shastra, understand Shastra, and give guidance to the rest of society. That will be a selected handful, few people. That's why you're doing Bhakti Shastri. So your responsibility is to study the Shastra nicely. You have the inclination for it. You have the appetite for it. You have the taste for it. Now study and understand. We understand the Shastra properly, and we help others to get trained. That's why the Bhakti Vriksha model is good for that, because it trains people to become leaders. That's why our temple also we have a mission statement. We develop spiritual leaders. So the idea is that the leaders of society is what is going to lead the masses. But if you go for numbers and say we want to get followers, but no leadership, then there'll be chaos. You'll have a lot of followers. They'll all fight each other and create more politics and more problems. And as the preaching grows, we'll find more problems rather than more solutions and more benefits. You'll find more problems. So that's why it's important that leaders should be trained. Prabhupada says in Teachings of Queen Kunti also, our movement is meant to develop spiritual leaders. He actually says that. So our mission statement of our temple happens to come straight out of Teachings of Queen Kunti without our realizing it. We just put it all together, and then we found, it's already there in Teachings of Queen Kunti. And that encapsulates Prabhupada's mood. So Brahminical training is extremely important. If someone has a potential to be a Brahmana, then we should develop that person nicely and give them a chance to understand the Shastra properly and get first and second initiation, and then help to spread that culture of Krishna consciousness. So we need a lot of leaders, we need a lot of teachers, and Brahmanas are the ones who will give that teaching. And the way Prabhupada taught it, anybody can become a Brahmana. No one is disqualified. No one should think, I'm not that type, I don't know Sanskrit, and I didn't come from Brahmin family, and I was eating meat before, and I'm so unqualified, and I've got so many problems. No. All we need is sincerity. If we sincerely follow the books Prabhupada has given us, one can become elevated to the position of Brahmana. There is no restriction. Nobody is restricted. It is our own choice. We want to or don't want to. That's up to us. But no one is disqualified from that. Qualification is already there. Prabhupada has already given the order. You just go and do it. And just repeat the words. Whatever you learned, whatever you heard, whatever you realized, just repeat that. That's all. That will have effect on people. That's why we have a system here. We study in Bhakti Shastri, learn here thoroughly, do the homework, do the assignment, do the exams. Don't skip anything. Try to do as sincerely as possible. And then go out and preach in the Bhakti Vriksha. Lead a Bhakti Vriksha and help others. So then you are not only getting the knowledge, you are distributing it. And the more you distribute, what happens? The more you learn. Exactly. The more you learn, the more you get. So you don't lose. There's no loss here. But if you keep on accumulating knowledge for sake of knowledge, and know all the Puranas and Tantras and Mantras and everything, very nice, but you don't share it, then very soon it will dry up. That's not going to regenerate.